For today's video, I thought that I would do a soft-spoken story time based on my shift at work. Clock in, immediately swamped, but I'm like, okay, just relax, you're trying to make money, so it'll be okay in the end. Started getting all my tables waters. This day was my first day out on the patio, and the place that I work at is very animal friendly, so a lot of people actually bring their pets, like their dogs, to the restaurant. One of my particular tables brought their dog. I went over to greet the table, and the dog kind of just came up from underneath the table and kind of stood at my feet, kind of sniffing me, and just stood there looking at me. And I thought it was a pretty friendly dog, but I didn't like touch it or anything. I took the drink orders for the table, then went back inside to just finish setting up everything else I needed for the other tables. Again, just a reminder, my section is completely swamped, so I don't even have time to take my time. I'm rushing in and out through all the tables, kind of bussing them as I go, so the people have like room to eat, right? Go back to that particular table with the dog. I go by the table really fast and just pick up the empty glasses that I can take back to the bar. Don't even know why, but the dog that had sniffed me at the very beginning jumped up from beneath the center of the table, jumped through the bench area where the guests were sitting, and just bit my thigh. And I'm standing there with my hands full of the glasses. Don't know what to do. I haven't even processed the fact that there's a dog on my leg. So he just clung on there for like 2 to 3 seconds. It hurt. Thankfully, I was wearing jeans, but this specific day, I almost wore shorts. I got some Lululemon, like, biker shorts that I'm allowed to wear to work, but I had been wearing them too much to my shifts, obviously clean, but I was like, I need to change it up a little bit, so I decided to wear black jeans. So thankfully, the dog didn't break skin, but he left a nice bruise. So as this is happening, I'm just staring at the dog that's still on my leg, and the owners go, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I just don't say a word. Well, I think I say like, it's okay, but obviously I don't really mean it, because all I can think about is how there's a dog on my leg and my leg is hurting. So I just kind of don't really say anything. I turn around, and then the table from behind goes, "Oh, can I please order this beer and this beer?" I say yes. And I just walked to the back with like a little tear in my eye. And I find my manager. Well, I didn't really find her. She was standing near the soda station that I had to go get a drink for a certain table from. And I go, "You won't believe what happened." And I'm telling her this, like, because I think it's kind of funny. Obviously, it doesn't feel good, but it's kind of funny because stuff like this would, of course, only happen to me. So I go, "Hey, so-and-so, guess what just happened?" They go, What happened?" "I just got bit by a dog." And they go, "Where?" I'm like, "Oh, out in the patio, someone's dog just bit me." And they, "No, are you serious? This is serious, Diana." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And then they're like, "Okay, well, I have to go talk to them. Are you okay? Are you sure? Like, do you need to go home?" I'm like standing there. I'm like, I think I'm okay. I haven't checked it. Go to the restroom. Please check your leg. Make sure you're okay. Like, let me know if you need anything. I'm gonna go talk to the owners." And I'm standing there like, please don't talk to the owners. It's gonna be so awkward. I still have to go out there and serve them. She's like, "No, don't worry about that. I need to like make sure I talk to them, because you shouldn't be bringing your dog out if you know that they can possibly bite someone. Like, what if a little kid walked by and the dog bit a small child in a restaurant? Like, that's on a liability on our part too." And I was like, "Oh, okay, like I understand." She went to talk to the owners, and the owners said that it's because someone almost stepped on their dog, but I was the only server out there on the patio, and the dog was underneath the table, so there was no way of possibly stepping on the dog. So I'm like, okay, that's strange, but whatever. They had me file an incident report with the manager. I like filled it out and stuff, and I just sat in the office for a little bit while she talked to the dog owners. And then she asked the owners like, "Hey, has your dog had the rabies shot?" And then the owner goes, "Oh yeah, I had my rabies shot about like 10 years ago." And she was like, "I wasn't asking about you, I was asking about your dog." Really don't know what ended up happening, but I guess they finished their meal, they left, and then I went back out to serve on the patio. The manager asked if I'd like to go home and go to the doctor's, or just take the rest of the day off to kind of like feel better over my leg. And I said, no, it's okay. I'm pretty broke, so I kind of need to stay and finish my shift. I need the money. So she's like, okay, go ahead and stay, but please, if you need anything, let me know. Like, we'll put someone else out on your section. I thanked her, and I kept working. Later that shift, I was in the back grabbing lemonade for a guest. I'm like trying to like shake the bottle of lemonade first so that like, all the pulp gets, whatever. I go to shake the lemonade bottle. Somebody else didn't close it well before. Just kind of left it open. I didn't notice that, so I went to shake it, and a lot of like basically half of the bottle of lemonade just went all over me. So I'm like, great, like bit by a dog like an hour ago. Now I have lemonade all over myself. I'm already sweaty. Now I'm like sticky. So okay, whatever. And then one of my coworkers sees that happen and goes, it's okay. It's okay. The shift can still turn around for you. It did not turn around for me. Towards the end of my shift, mind you, I'm still completely busy with my section the entire shift. Get a party of 3 out on the patio. So it's 2 girls and a guy. They sit out in my section. I'm like vibing with them. They're super sweet. I get them everything they need. I keep checking up on them. They say that the food is tasting great, so I'm like, cool. However, I did notice that when they first got there, one of the ladies was already slurring her speech, so I was like, probably can't and shouldn't serve her any more alcohol if they're going to order alcohol. Then they go to order some of her specialty shots. I go up to the manager and let him know, like, hey, like, this is what's going on. She was already slurring when she got here. I don't know. What do you think we should do? He says to just put in what they already ordered for that first round. After that, though, if they try to order again, just cut them off. And I said, okay, cool. Thank you so much. Go back to check on them, and they're all trying to order like full-on cocktails at this point, and I didn't know how to word it. I felt very awkward cutting someone off because I've never done that before. So I say, yeah, like, let me just go ahead and double check that it's okay with my manager, because he did mention that we might have to cut the alcohol. Just like look at me like all upset, frustrated, confused. I'm just like, I'll be right back. So I go talk to my manager, and he's like, okay, like, let me go ahead and check it out. Let me talk to them. He goes to talk to them, comes back, and he says, yeah, no, definitely under the influence of some kind of either alcohol or like drug. Yeah, no, I let them know we can't serve them anymore. So I said, okay. Thinking the situation is resolved and they're still going on about their meal, I walk by the table to greet another table that just got sat. And the guy calls me over very sassily and says, excuse me. By the way, I'm not going to yell into the mic because relaxation purposes, but he's like yelling at me, and he goes, excuse me, we want our check. We don't feel welcome here. We want to leave. And I go, I will bring you your check. Kind of like, please don't yell at me. Like, I did nothing wrong. So go get the check. I, like, on the way to a different table, I just like set it down on their table very quietly. I don't say a word because the situation is already pretty awkward. And while I'm taking the order for the table I was getting to, I guess the guy from the table I just dropped the check off at got upset that I didn't say anything when I dropped the checkbook off, and starts cussing me out in front of all my tables. So I'm obviously taking the order for this table I just greeted, and the guy in the back goes, you effing C-word. You're not even that cute anyways. I'm so effing pissed. What the F is this BS? And like, going to town. And I'm like, bro, calm down. I'm like taking the order for this table, and I'm like giggling and laughing. And usually I'm pretty good at ignoring people because it's like, I'm at work, I'm getting paid to do my job, and I'm not getting paid to be petty with you or start an argument with you. Plus, it doesn't look cute on my end if I were to do that. So I'm just kind of like giggling and ignoring him. And all my tables are kind of just like looking around. And I go to a table across the patio to take someone else's order. And as I'm walking to that other table, the guy goes, excuse me, starts snapping his fingers in the air in front of everyone and goes, excuse me, my check is ready. He's like yelling at me and like snapping my fingers. At this point, I'm actually upset. So in front of everyone, not my proudest moment, I turn to him and I yell in his face and I go, "Don't snap at me." Rip the checkbook out of his hand and walk away. And that kind of shut him up. I don't think he was expecting me to meet him with the same level of attitude or level of voice, because I'm an employee and he probably thinks that he can talk to anyone like that if they're at work, which is not okay. And definitely not my proudest moment, but at the same time, like, don't yell at me. Don't yell at anyone. Like, it's not my fault you were already drinking before you got here. It's not my fault that I had to cut you, like, from the alcohol. It's by law, we have to ensure everyone's safety. Like, don't yell at me. Don't snap your fingers at me. I go back to my managers. Mind you, they've already filed one incident report at the beginning of my shift because I got bit by a dog. Now they're having to file a second one because of this whole fiasco with this other party. So I make my way to the manager with the checkbook and I tell her, "So and so, you need to go out there right now because if I go out there, it's not going to be cute." I had just yelled at him. He said this and this and this in front of all my tables. Everybody is like hearing this happening, and I'm so sorry. I will let you know I did snap, and I did yell at him, and I told him not to snap his fingers at me. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that I did that. And back at the other job that I used to work at, where I previously mentioned in my other video, the manager was like the most terrible person I've ever met. I'm so used to apologizing and like feeling terrible if I make a mistake on an order or anything, because I'm used to getting yelled at and getting my hours cut if I made a mistake or just having everything blamed on me. So as soon as I said I'm sorry, the manager was like, "No, don't apologize. Nobody has a right to talk to you that way. Like, let me go over there and talk to them. Like, do not apologize. We understand." And I was like, "You do. You understand. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I probably shouldn't yell at him. Like I understand. I was just like really upset, and usually I'm okay with ignoring people, but like I'm sorry." My other manager definitely would have made the whole situation my fault and would have continued to serve the party alcohol just to avoid them being annoyed or writing a negative Yelp review. So the fact that these managers really wanted to make sure I was okay from the dog bite and this whole incident with the next party really made me feel a lot better. At the end of it, I guess one of my managers went to talk to the table, and the guy at the table continued to say, like, "We feel very disrespected." My manager cut him off and said, "Actually, we feel very disrespected also because you're calling my employee the C word. You're saying this and this and this about her, and it's completely inappropriate. You need to leave." So they have them pay out and then they leave, but on the way out they're like continuing to yell at my manager. But I like wanted to cry, not because what they were saying was hurting my feelings, because I think I'm cute on a good day. My fiance thinks I'm cute. My family thinks I'm cute. So it's not like he hurt my feelings or anything. What made me want to cry was having the support from management, because I've never had that before. And they felt for me. Like, afterwards, some of the other coworkers of mine saw this happen. All of the employees are just giving me a hug, like, "Oh my gosh, it is not your day. This is like the shift from hell. Like, I am so sorry. Are you okay?" I'm just standing there like, I don't know what just happened. I want to go home at this point. I am sweaty. I am sticky. I got bit by a dog. This table is like the least of my worries. Like, and then also to top it off, there was a server that was clocked in, but she had like the smallest of sections, so she wasn't really getting many tables. So she asked to take a section of the patio. I agreed, but she never told me she was going on break when she went on break. So for the longest time, the tables that she took over, or the section she took over, was getting sat, and I was never told that she was going over to greet them, because I was dealing with the dog bite, I was dealing with this other party, I was dealing with my own section that was like overfilling. So all of her guests had been waiting there, sitting there, and were getting super upset, and it fell back on me because she didn't tell me she was going on break and I was the only other one out there. But like, how was I supposed to know? You should have told me you were going on break, or like, hey, do you mind watching my tables? I'm under the assumption that you got everything handled. Those guests were getting mad at me, got bit by the dog, got cussed out by that one party, got lemonade all over me. I got home, I was like shaking. I was shaking because I was like so annoyed. Overall, what a shift. But at the end of the day, like, my managers texted me after my shift to make sure I was okay. What a shift. Never had a shift like that. And I kind of like, yeah, I was like mad when I got home, but I couldn't help but laugh because it's like, what in the world was today? Like, what a shift. And only things like this would happen to me. So yeah, that was the shift from hell. And now I had patio again, like last shift, so like a shift after the one where I got bit, and I was like scared. I was like, I'm traumatized by serving the patio now. Like, and I love dogs, love dogs. But now every time I approach a table, I'm like, like, I didn't do anything to the other dog. He was chilling. He was like laying down underneath the table and somehow decided to bite my bony leg. So never be too careful, I guess. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to this soft-spoken story time. I appreciate you guys for watching my videos and for being here and just listening to me. So I hope you found this a little bit comical. If not, that it helped you fall asleep with a soft-spoken ASMR. I love you so much. Thank you for practicing kindness, and have a good night's sleep.